What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at the championships in Malaysia. Their national championships just happened. And the finals did end, marking one of the last events until the World Championships for any major region left over. So this was an event to qualify some players from Malaysia to come participate in the Pokemon World Championships. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the grand finals and do a little bit of an analysis, VOD review, whatever you want to call it. I love doing these across time. I feel like I should make a better effort about doing tournaments that have already happened, even if I wasn't watching them real time. I'm going to be trying to do them with more Japanese tournaments, Malaysian tournaments, APAC tournaments in general, as well as regionals that have happened in the US and Europe. Whatever is streamed when I get back from them, obviously. I think that if I'm at the event, it's going to be a little bit difficult to stream them. But when I get home, I'm going to try my best to cover the finals at the very least. Maybe top cut all the way through. Let me know what you guys want in the comments below. I feel like it's very educational and helpful for a lot of players to look at it from a different lens. And this is the kind of review I do for myself anyway when I'm watching games, to learn kind of plays and things that players might be able to do, and I learn from them, so you guys can learn alongside with me. And I believe the mirror was Chien-Pao versus Lost Box in the finals, so let's go ahead and jump into this coming right up. If you guys like this kind of content, please like and do subscribe. I do try to do a lot of this. I'm going to try to gear my channel to do a lot more of this moving forward. Because I think I enjoy it, and it's something that helps players improve. So we see Lost Box on the left and Chien-Pao on the right. The Chien-Pao player, you can see who's going second is just irrelevant for time rules, I believe. So we're going to see a Vessel come through, nothing prized here. Opening hands is typically bad in a lot of situations, but this is one of the few matchups where like opening hands is pretty insane, because if you get a turn 2 hands, it's a pretty good chance that you can take 4 prizes before Lost Box can actually respond. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and see 2. A little bit of a nerves from Yun Kai Jian here. Ability used into the discard. We're gonna go see the heavy ball. Very very loose price check on turn 1, so maybe we didn't have to play the heavy ball. Yeah, I was like, I don't think we even price checked there. No Frigibacks, nothing going first. Super greedy on that. Like, I don't know what the rest of the hand was, because I obviously can't see it, but there's had to have been a better play, maybe just grabbing Frigibacks and passing. But I guess Lost Box can always just go Cramorant, Prime Catcher, kill. Or Prime Catcher or Cramorant bundle KO, and the Frigibacks dies anyway, so maybe this is just a better play to try to get more cards out of it, more value. So we're going to go ahead and see the Pokestop. Oh! There's no way! 3 Choruses experiments off the Pokestop. Probably the worst thing you could ask for as the Lost Box player, especially this early into the game. No Chorus in the hand, no playable cards even, just an attach and a pass. So, an insane bailout for the Chien-Pao player here. Arven coming through. Arven's very interesting in Chien-Pao here. I wonder what tool they're playing that actually makes this relevant. A Sealstone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do Rotom for Nest Ball, Sealstone. Use the Sealstone for Poffin. Poffin getting double Frigi more than likely here. Just making sure there's no shenanigans that your opponent can get into a cram and KO you, even though there's 3 colors sitting in the Lost Zone. And we're just going to see 3 cards drawn with Rotom. Kind of punishes a little bit of a slower start from your opponents. Another 3 cards off the Pokestop. We see Ursaluna, Roxanne, and Sableye. Another no item start here. And then the Chien-Pao player here has a million cards in hand now. Is able to basically, if they miss Candy, so we see the Irida getting discarded off the Pokestop. We're going to see another Frigibacks attached from turn and another Rotom. This is like, honestly, an insanely slow start from both sides. Like the Arven could have just been, I don't know, like the Rotom makes a lot of sense to just draw 3 cards because your opponent has a slow start. But Lost Box player is clearly doing absolutely nothing. But the Chien-Pao player being turn 3 and not having access to a Candy Back Excalibur is kind of disgusting, especially with the amount of cards that are in the hand, the amount of cards we've seen already. Like, about half the deck has been seen. So it's a little bit unfortunate. And another Pokestop coming through. Both players basically living and dying off the... There is 2 cards, but none of them are search cards for any Pokemon. So we once again are in a situation where we can't do anything. There's the Candy, there's the Back Excalibur. 2 energies are going to come through. I literally see an SER in the hand, yeah. There it is. There's the game. We're going to go to game 2. As quickly as game 1 began. Probably one of the hardest choruses hardest... he showed that there was 2 Irida and an Arven prized, which does make sense, I guess. But hitting 3 colors off the first Pokestop is like absolutely absurd. Something that you just never expect to see happen. The odds of that are incredibly low, astronomically low even. So now we have Nyx up against Yoon going up again. And I think if you're Nyx, you have to take first here just because Going first as Lost Box into Chien-Pao allows you to have the potential turn 2 access to Greninja, and that threatens pretty much the board. So Jung has to not only get 2 Frigibaxes, but he has to get Frigibaxes and Manaphy. But if there's no Manaphy in the deck, like most lists are not playing Manaphy, you have to get 2 Frigibaxes or 3 Frigibaxes and just kind of hope that the Greninja play doesn't happen. And then the following turn, you have to put those Frigibaxes back into the deck, go get them again, and reset up your board because your Baxcalibur is always under threat of being blown up if you don't play Manaphy. Both players, once again, are setting back up. Let's see who chooses first. I mean, Nyx for sure has to choose first here. I think is the correct option. There's the comfy start. Much better. A mulligan coming through. Vessel. I remember seeing something interesting about the Chien-Pao list. I think it was a Dudunsparce in there as opposed to a barrel. So I'm excited to see how that actually plays out. Maybe we actually get to see it do something in this game as opposed to last game where the Rotom just kind of clutched up a little bit. 7 cards again. Don't know what they opened. We'll go ahead and see 3/3 come pit down, and then the mulligan. And let's go ahead and kick off. Rotom opener, actually not the worst. I mean, Rotom being able to just draw 3 cards at the end of your turn as a vanilla is pretty insane still. Opening it as Lost Box isn't the most ideal, but it's like it can soak a cram hit if you need to. I don't know if this... there's no way the Chien-Pao player is playing a card that like removes it from the board, I don't think. So this Rotom just kind of gets stuck here, I think, probably, in a lot of situations. We're going to go ahead and see the Greninja being grabbed from the Nest Ball. Probably one of the best cards to grab because the Lost Box player just wants to get a ton of cards in hand. And there's a pretty good chance that the Chien-Pao player doesn't play any like form of hand disruption in general. So it's just... Okay, it's a very strange cut. We're going to go ahead and see a Comfy coming through. Prime Catcher switch, pretty easy decision here. You always take the Prime Catcher. We're going to go ahead and see another Comfy hitting the board. Switch cards. Sableye, Devo. I think you take the Devo here. I think that's pretty good in this matchup specifically, just because TM Devo is really insane against a board where you can go 6/6 onto 2 Frigibaxes and blow it up. But we did notice that there's 7 HP Frigibaxes, multiple on the player on the right side, on Yongkai John's side. So that is actually a pretty advantageous thing in this matchup specifically, because you now just have multiple ways to not just get Sableye Devo'd. Usually you play 1 7 HP Frigibax to kind of mitigate that from happening. But now you're in a position where you don't, you have more outs to do other things here too. We're going to see the Vessel coming through. Greninja coming on the board once again. Looking for pretty much any basics. Looking for access to Poffin, Manaphy possibly. He's praying to the gods. We're going to go ahead and see Arven coming through for Sealstone, Poffin more than likely. Giving us a full bench if we want it here. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to go ahead and get. We're going to go ahead and Poffin for the 2 little guys. And we're going to go ahead and use the Sealstone for second Poffin, almost certainly for Manaphy if that's being played. If it's not being played, we get a third Frigibax and just pass it. Looks like we're not getting any more small guys here because we do need to put an attacker into play. So we're going to bench lock ourselves. Attach to Rotom, we're going to go ahead and draw 3 cards. Another Poffin in the hand. I see at least one other Vessel as well, I think. We're looking for a turn 2 hands if we're... 2 waters, gate, heavy ball. So this is where checking our attackers would have been important. I don't think we actually did a thorough check on the first search. I don't think both players have done any like real searching, like checking on their prize cards. So a water and a heavy ball hitting the Lost Zone. Looking to Greninja for sure this turn. Like if we can get the Greninja off, it's like pretty damaging to the board state. So 1 more Comfy, plus a way to... There's a Poffin, but we're just going to get rid of the Poffin for some reason. Do we have another way to get there? I don't think we do. I think Prime Catcher might be the best play here, or we can go Devo Vacuum, which I think is pretty bad. I don't know. I think we could have gotten rid of a second Raw. I mean, Nest Ball is also fine here. Nest Ball for... We're going to go Devo and Vacuum the Devo. I don't know. I feel like we can afford to put another Comfy in play. That seems fine. But we're going to go ahead and Rod. Back to Psychic. We're going to Gate Psychic and Water to the Greninja. Attach from hand. And we're going to go ahead and blow up the 2 Frigibaxes. A pretty easy turn here. Leave the 60 HP one in play for sure. Just basically saying there's like no energy left. There's 1 water left basically. So a lot of energy surprise for this Lost Box player. And losing a water here already is pretty impactful. Like I'm pretty sure we saw Lightnings last game and there's no Lightnings to be seen. So we're going to see the Prime Catcher bringing up the fat Frigibax. I don't know. I feel like leaving the 60 HP one in play is correct a lot of the time here. Just because that one can be Devo, but I guess we got rid of the Devo, so it doesn't really matter in a sense. Capturing Aroma. We're going to go ahead and gamble for a Tails, and we're going to hit the Luminion. Dude, how many V Pokemon are in this deck? We're going to go get Luminion for Irida, it looks like. Irida for... There's so many cards. There are so many cards in this player's hand. We're going to go ahead and get another Frigibax. And maybe Prime Catcher? I don't know, actually. Rod, it looks like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go Rod. Putting back double Frigibax. We're going to go ahead and use the Poffin to get the one Frigibax back into play. There's so many bad Pokemon on the board here that Lost Box can just abuse. So we're going to see Candy Excalibur, Attached Retreat into Greninja. We're going to go ahead and SER down to an incredibly low hand size. Getting rid of the Dudunsparce and a couple other pieces. Maybe we could put a Dudunsparce into play. Greninja here. Prime Catcher is a draw. 3 off the rip. And we're going to go ahead and take out both Comfies. Now, this is actually pretty insane because now we can stop them from getting to 10. But Sableye is... like, I mean, a Kohler still gets them to 10. So this play is good. But at the same time, like, maybe going hands into just taking this guy out is fine too. Because now there's so many 2 prices already on your board that, like, a Gust effect plus taking out... like this Luminian, like if a hands from the Lost Box player comes up, like I don't see Lightning Energy, but if they get a way to get to hands, or Ursaluna even, and just take out like Luminian or Rotom, it just feels like really hard to play the game because now you're just going to lose to a 2/2/2 prize trade pretty much every time. And because you have to use C-Pow to end the game here. So if this turn there's a Prime Catcher plus, which the Prime Catcher has already been used, but I really don't understand why we had to use Prime Catcher last turn. Like, the Lost Box's win condition, I think, is to go 2/2/2 in a lot of situations here, and you don't care if the Frigibax is stuck in the active. I think, like, blow up the 2 70 HP Frigibaxes, leave a 60 HP Frigibax in play. You can now set yourself up to play for a Prime Catcher for 2 prizes the following turn, and to kill a C-Pow that's going to be in the active on a following turn as well, because your opponent's best play is Greninja this turn. You prevent them from Greninjaing for 2 prizes on this upcoming turn by not benching 2 Comfies or 2 targets that can get Greninja'd. And you basically establish yourself with a board that is kind of like not immune to that scenario, but you're immune. You can just win on the board on 2/2/2s. Now you have a counter. I think there's a counter catcher in hand, but that doesn't do anything. Like, this counter catcher doesn't do anything for the game state. Like, I don't know. Like, we're gonna like one of the cards is Gate. I'm pretty sure you have to keep the Gate because it's Gate switch card, but there's so many switch cards gone. I think that's the 4th switch card or 3rd switch card. I think that's the 4th switch card. So if we lose a switch card, there's like basically very few switch effects left. And if we lose the Gate, we only have 2 Gates remaining, which is also really bad. So there's the Gate, and now the Gate is once again gone. We're going to see switch card to Cram for 110. Like, this is just such a losing play. Like, if we just had Prime Catcher, we grab the Gate that was there. We have the Ursaluna already in the hand. We can Gate the Ursaluna, Prime Catcher, take 2 prize cards this turn, and now Ursaluna is a threat, as well as this board state is the exact same as it was before. Like, the board state does not change. Now, if there's a hands can just hit the board, and the game is effectively over, in my opinion. Or, I mean, Pow, but, like, okay, we're going to go ahead and Pow for 2. We're going to just take like a single prize, it looks like, on the active. Because we can just go 1 for 1 still. Like, we just don't... I mean, like, Counter Catcher is now procced, so there's a chance that the board state can end on... like, Ursaluna comes active, takes 2 prizes here. Pow... I mean, this Pow deck has no draw, which is crazy also. Ursaluna comes up, takes a knockout here. Well, why are we promoting a thing with no... Top deck the Colress is crazy, yep. I feel like promoting Greninja is fine there because we can just retreat it. And make a play. I think we had counter catcher, so Sinnoh goes for sure. I think it's like Sinnoh Poffin for sure. Like, I don't really see 2 better cards to get rid of. Or double Poffin's also like pretty insane to get rid of. It's just kind of a freebie at this stage in the game. This is there's a 10 in the loss. There's 11 in the loss, so it doesn't matter at this point. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Draw 2. I don't know. Promoting Cram is also really weird to me. I mean, okay, we hit the escape board, so I guess we're never getting punished for this play. I mean, Ursaluna Prime Cat or Ursaluna just kill the active just seems like the best play. Like, this chain of cards we've kept, it doesn't make any sense to me. Over the last couple turns, we're gonna go ahead and Rod back the energies, and I mean, like, this turn would be like the ideal turn to just Ursaluna. Like, we just kind of need to do it. We have Ursaluna counter catcher, and we just need to do... Okay, counter catcher backs. But, like, what does that do for... Just, okay, like... We have seen so many good cards from the Lost Box's side that this kind of play should not be happening this deep in the game. Like, this is unacceptable that we are in a position where we're hitting for 110, looking to Sableye for 2 prizes on the next turn, when Chien-Pao can just blow up. I mean, like, what's the line here? Chien-Pao is going to blow up for 1 here, and then we're going to go Sableye, blow up the Baxcalibur and Frigibax. But if there's another Candy Baxcalibur, that play goes out the window. So it becomes, it just becomes Candy, it just becomes kill the Greninja for 2, put 5 damage counters here. You have 7 to work with. You just put 7 on one of these 2. Or you just put 7 on the active. I don't even know. Like, I think you just put 7 on Luminion, because then Luminion, or you put 5 on Luminion and 2 on something else, because then at that point you just can snipe it Lumi with Sableye. So you have to go back-to-back Sableyes, but you're done 3 Super Rods, by the way, mind you. 2 gates are now gone, a ton of switch cards, and you have 0 Comfy in play. So if there's any disruption effect from the Chien-Pao player, which I guess you can assume they don't have one, it's just game ending for the most part here. I mean, like, the line is still there. There's still a win condition. Looks like they want to change their ear to target, and they're saying, no, you can't change your ear to target. You already shuffled, which is completely fair, right? Like, you've already shuffled. It's wraps. We're going to take 4 cards back with the SER. Candy, second Baxcalibur, there it is. 2 retreat and 2 POW once again. We're going to use Greninja's ability, draw some more cards, another attach, and then we're going to just blow it up. And now there's a POW on the board that's untouchable for the most part. Sableye is going to go ahead and take out 2 things this turn if possible. Or, I mean, you have to hold the Blood Moon Ursuluna to close out the game at this point in time. Like, you just can't use it preemptively. If you do, then you just lose the game to a Chien-Pao attacking. But it's literally just like Sableye, blow up the board, please don't have hands. Like, that's like basically what you're saying, which is, I mean, reasonable. It's like hands plus a way to retreat, which is a lot actually to ask for out of Chien-Pao. But that's your 4th rod. That's your 4th rod. We are not chaining Sableyes anymore. Oh, there's no way the cram here is correct. Like, I don't understand getting the cram here. Like, is the line not always Sableye here for the damage that I mentioned earlier into Sableye again for game? Like, is that not the line every time here? And you have to hold that 4th rod because you don't have another Sableye to work with. Like, this is rod number 4. Is the hand just, like, that dead that there's nothing to work with? Like, I can't see the hand, but do we just have no access to... Like, keeping that 1 switch card that 1 turn made 0 sense, because that gate enabled a Sableye play earlier, and that gate also enabled a different play. And also just nest balling for a third Comfy, as opposed to vacuuming the nest ball, was such an insanely weird play to me, because we vacuumed a nest ball and a Devo, and the Devo, like, could put us in a very good spot to win the game here as well. I don't know, a lot of really questionable decisions. We're going to see the SER coming through. We're going to just, I mean, like, frankly, just put a bunch of energies on the board, right? Like, it doesn't even... We're going to Greninja, draw some cards, just thin out the deck a little bit. 3 energies to the active. I mean, you could just put, like, I just don't think your POW is going to, or your Bax is going to get blown up here ever. So there's no reason to, I think, put more energies onto the board. I mean, I guess you could play around Roxanne here, but there was no Roxanne last turn. So I guess you could SER. Yeah, this is just fine. You just have a POW ready to go. You get an energy. Ability through, 1 prize card left. Checking all the resources. 1, 2 SERs. 1 prime catcher. There's still so many resources left. Like, this game is, I think, really hard for the POW player to lose. And we're going to see, I mean, Ursaluna, like, comes up, and I think you have to hope that your opponent can't take a knockout on the Ursaluna. Baxcalibur into the active spot. We're going to see the Delibird. We're going to see the SER, 130 damage, knockout. There's the game. I mean, like, there's so much that, like, felt so weird in that game that I just feel like the Lost Box players should never lose that game too. Like, based on how the game went, like, I just don't feel like that should have been a losable game, especially given some of the lost, like, the Comfy targets that we ended up seeing. I don't know, very interesting. But obviously these players have been playing for a long time all day. They're exhausted. I can't be as critical because I would probably make similar mistakes in those spots. But hopefully this was a learning lesson for everyone, I guess me included. But thank you for watching. I guess Dudunsparce won Malaysia, but didn't do anything besides hit the discard. It did hit the discard. So, yep, that's everything from me. Thank you guys for watching. And let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see when I come back to US and EU events that are full streamed. If you'd like me to do top 8, top 4 finals, or just finals, like some introspection on that, because I could do like a top 8, top 4 finals as soon as I get back home from a regionals, and that could be content for the week, especially given the frequency of events for learning purposes and just watching purposes from our perspective. So thanks for watching, and peace out, guys.